You talking about that candidate,
the
politician?
guy
I
who's
don't
going to
I know
run in the Democrat
politics.
primary against Biden. He's Robert F. Kennedy's. Uh,
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna have much luck there.
no, but every
But
time I hear him talk, he sounds like he's about to start crying.
and then I'm gonna do other things that the government does. It's gonna
And
happen.
I think that the government had a hand in killing my uncle and my dad, and I just want them to complete the cycle. Make it a three-peat.
Hello everyone, welcome to the pre-show. This is the part of the show
Did
where
that
we
go
talk
out?
about. Yeah, that all went out.
Oh, so
Sorry.
they heard the part about Robert F. Kennedy. Every time I hear Robert F.
Yeah.
Kennedy, he sounds like he's
You're
going
gonna
to
get
cry.
those emails. We're gonna get those emails
We're
now.
going to get those emails.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I am sorry. Not
Yeah,
really.
sorry. He thought he was just talking to me.
Sorry, not
everybody.
sorry.
Segment 1, we'll do that. What we did this week. I didn't do anything. I was so busy. I didn't even get to read all of the comics that I wanted to read this week, which was a damn shame.
Well, it was a good week for comics.
It was okay. At least what I read, was okay. But we'll talk about Bill Willingham and drama with DC. We'll talk about Alan Moore. What about Alan Moore?
Oh, I think I know what this is a part about Alan Moore is about.
Well, let's wait. Let's not spoil anything. Rob Liefeld,
wizard. Oh hell no, Rob Liefeld.
And
did you guys see where he drew Sam Wilson?
Oh, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
okay. That's what we're going to talk about.
Because he has basically become conscious of the meme.
He's fooling a little bit because
right.
the Sam Wilson one isn't as overtly ridiculous as the Steve Rogers one because he turned him a little bit, tried to correct his work.
Yeah,
you know,
we'll talk about
it.
He
shouldn't have done that in the first place. One was bad enough, and now
I know. I'm excited to.
They're multiplying.
Hey, you know what? I at least
just have to pour
I kind of respect him, like acknowledging what a fucking farce that first image was. At least owning it, you know.
Yeah. This is what happens when you do too much nose candy.
Hey, we'll talk about that in the news section. Damn it, Thor Corps come back. Couple food news. We do have a moment of destruction, and then top 3 again. A week where I was just super busy this week, man. I just did not read as many comics as I wanted to. I still have a top 3, but yeah, I don't really have much to say about them. I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Really hyping up the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sure you guys read a lot of comics.
We have no better hype man than Gomer.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys read a lot of comics, so we'll definitely do that. So, anything else we want to add to the show?
There was something I was thinking about earlier, but I can't remember what it was now. Oh, well.
Oh, well, there you go.
My memory's starting to go. Yeah.
Oh, there it goes.
In your old age.
I've heard a good cure for that is alcohol. Then you can just blame it on the alcohol.
It's not really a cure per se.
It's a social cure.
It's a cover.
It's a social ale.
It's a self-medication.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's do the thing. Very apropos opening. I know. I feel the same way, Eddie. Oh man, segment 1 is going to be off the fucking chain.
Like I had to know when they originally filmed that scene that people were going to be like, "This sounds ridiculous," you know?
Oh yeah, they had. Yeah.
It's such a departure from the Darth Vader we know.
Yeah, right. Greetings, geeks. Welcome back. It is another episode of This Geek and Comics, Outright Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
Thank you, Gomer Taylor, David. Andy was going to be here, but he is just super busy. Here, I was going to pop it up. I won't. I didn't do shit this week. I was so slamming busy that I did really nothing extra. I even missed out on like some TV shows, that I had to catch up on. Anyway, did you gentleman do anything that you want to mention?
No. I marathoned the Gamera series on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
How
was it?
As a fan of the Heisei era Gamera, which is the ones from the 90s, I was pleasantly surprised by this series. It does have a lot. The kaiju featured in the series are the Showa era. They were boasting a new kaiju who's going to fight 6 kaiju. And
I have to confess, I don't really know Gamera's kaiju gallery. Not quite as famous as Godzilla's. To be fair,
probably the most famous of the Gamera gallery is probably Gauss and Gorion.
Is one of those like those pterodactyl monsters that pierced Gamera that one time?
Gauss is the pterodactyl monster.
Okay.
Gorion is the kaiju with the big sword for a head.
Oh,
excellent. I really enjoyed I really enjoyed a lot of the redesigns of some of these kaiju, especially Gorion. It just worked. Gorion probably gave Gamera his biggest fight, and that was so nice.
Where is this streaming?
On Netflix.
Oh, okay, cool. The Netflix. Cool, man. I might check it out.
Sounds dope. Also watched the first episode of Fooly Cooly Grunge.
Oh, yeah, I don't. What the hell is that?
It is
an anime.
It's an
Fooly
anime.
Cooly is an anime from, I guess, was it in the 90s, Dave, or the 80s?
It was very late 90s, early 2000s. So it's like 20-something years old, but they did make 2 sequels about 5 years ago.
You know how all anime is weird? Fooly Cooly is weird by anime standards.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's 6 episodes. It's crazy. This 4th Fooly Cooly was just the 1 episode I've seen, is probably the closest to the original Fooly Cooly. The animation style is different, but the feel is there.
Oh, okay. Very good. So Taylor, what'd you do? Anything worth mentioning? Jeff chiming in the chat. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
What's up, brother?
Hello.
No, I did my D&D that I always do on Friday, but other than that, nothing really.
Well, then
what
it's
kind of
on
D&D
to
campaign are you running?
Ahsoka. David has a question.
It's a homebrew one. It's
nice.
I never actually run like an official campaign.
I keep popping this up like a strobe effect. Anyways, episode 5.
Gomer's just chomping at the bit to do Ahsoka, yeah.
Dude, it was fucking dope. Fallen Jedi. This is the one with whales in space. Oh wait, no, not those.
Captain, let her be well.
Oh, Gomer.
Not those whales in space.
You're incorrigible.
Yes. Those whales in space.
Those whales.
But it was that, they're still looking for Ezra. But this episode was actually about Ahsoka a little bit. And her having, I don't know, actually a real interaction.
Weirdly enough, I don't think it's no coincidence that this was my favorite episode so far, and it's the one that did not have Sabine in it at all.
Right? Yeah, she's on the other side of the universe.
In another galaxy,
she's not on the other side of the universe. She's in another universe.
Well, another universe? I thought it was another galaxy.
I think it's another galaxy. Yeah. So
she's the same universe.
So this young Ahsoka right here?
Yeah, I was going to ask if that was someone in particular.
That young Ahsoka right there is the girl who played young Gamora in Endgame.
Oh, okay, okay.
She's really good at playing young aliens.
Man, Disney's got her locked in for all these young alien parts.
Give her a damn show. But I mean, if you haven't seen like Rebels, especially this episode, the Clone Wars, I'm not sure that you got as much out of this because I was fucking geeking out the whole time she was. And again, what was it? Was it an actual interaction with Anakin's Force Ghost? Was it like a Force fever dream? Was it a regular?
No.
You know what I mean? It's hard. I don't think they actually came out and said exactly.
I like the vagueness of it.
I like it too, Taylor.
This is explained in Rebels. This is the world between worlds that people who are really sensitive to the Force can enter and interact and look through different parallels of time, because Ahsoka in Rebels died to Vader. Then Ezra was in the world between worlds, and he pulled Ahsoka out at the moment of her death.
Yeah. But again, this doesn't necessarily mean that this is like Anakin's Force Ghost. It's not acting like Anakin did at the end of Jedi, all smiles and happy.
Well, he was being what he needed to be to get Ahsoka through this moment, I think, and I thought that was a good touch. Yeah, I thought that Hayden Christensen did a good job. I thought that the journey from like this trippy void, this world between worlds, as David describes it as, like going back through her past in the Clone Wars, and then coming full circle. And Anakin even said, "Okay, well, going back to the beginning, then," I thought it was all well handled. I like that they're not really sitting down and being like, the power was inside you all along. No, they're keeping it like they're trusting the audience to kind of piece things together. And this is where I do like our different perspectives, because I haven't seen any of this shit. Dave could probably quote fucking episodes to us, and I think you're more of a casual fan, right?
I am very casual on the animated stuff. I keep up with it. I only have watched, certain key episodes, but I'm like, I wiki it, and try to keep up that way.
As always,
it also had Rex in it. I mean, it had Rex in it.
It did.
The hell is dope?
Well, it didn't. They didn't give us an unhelmeted Rex. And
well, sure, dude, they did it. They blew all their de-aging budget on Hayden Christensen. Man. They can't do that. Christensen. They can't do that for Mr. Tamura as well.
But here's the thing: is they had the actor who plays the clones in Kenobi. I mean, yes, he was a little bit, a 10-year-old, much older clone, but. I really would have loved to seen a DA, or at least a unhelmeted Rex in the clone armor, in the ARC Trooper armor.
No, I agree. It would have been great to see.
That would have been nice, but I don't think it's at least for me, it's not a deal breaker.
Yeah,
it's not a deal breaker. We still got a live action Rex. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I just wish we had 2 live action Rexes.
So,
right.
Perhaps more so than any other episode so far. This is one where Dave probably got a lot more out of it than I did. But I still enjoy the hell out of it. Like I'm aware enough of Ahsoka's story that I was able to follow the action. And if you don't know as little as I know about Ahsoka, I don't know why you're watching the show in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe you're just a Star Wars fan, But
maybe.
If you are, she's been in so many things now that it's really hard to not know who that character is, at least at a surface level.
She's been around for at least 15 years.
Yeah.
So just through pop culture osmosis, I know enough to follow the fact that she fought through the Clone Wars as Anakin's apprentice, and I knew enough to get me through here.
Yeah. And that scene where Anakin's walking away and the lightning goes and he shifts between Vader's. You see Vader's cloak and the helmet and him. Dude, masterful. Filoni.
Extremely well done. Yeah.
This is Dave Filoni's playground, and I really think that he's doing so much better than with the stuff that he's provided than what Lucas has provided in a lot of ways.
Yeah, 100%. He is.
Well, I don't want to wade into that quagmire, but
you're not wrong.
I don't think you're wrong.
I also just want to mention how much I appreciate Carson as our everyman. This guy shows up in multiple series.
I love the connective tissue that he's providing here. Where he can show up in Mandalorian. I think he showed up in Book of Boba Fett a couple of times.
Dude. Yeah,
he might have. But either way, I like that he's showing up here.
He is our Wedge Antilles.
Yeah, man, that actor is actually in a show called Kim's Convenience, which is a Canadian comedy. It's brilliant. It's so good. You need to check it out if you haven't.
I think at this point, Carson had more lines than Wedge ever did. At this point.
Right. Yeah,
but the actor also was in Shang-Chi.
Yeah, he was in Shang-Chi.
Who was he in Shang-Chi?
Yeah. He was in the village, that hidden village.
Oh, was he the village elder who taught Awkwafina how to fight?
No, he was.
Not sure if that was.
No,
him,
he was. He had a brief cameo. He was the one provided them clothes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, again, an amazing episode of a show that.
Yeah, I will say though,
this episode felt a lot longer too.
I don't know why the New Republic gives a shit about 5 people going to this planet where there's nothing for them to disrupt, right?
Yeah,
if they don't think there's anything out here, why do they even care that they're on this planet?
Hell,
yeah,
and even if there,
even if there is a hint that Thrawn is volunteers. The problem I have with this, the problem I have with this, Taylor, is okay. You guys say you want to go get Thrawn. But there's no proof of that, and we think you're lying just so you can go get your best friend. You're right. Why the fuck do they care?
Yeah, what's it to you?
Just let them go. Yeah. The worst thing that can happen is they do nothing. They don't find a friend, and they don't find.
The only thing I can vaguely kind of get about it is they don't want to lose a general or something. But even then, that's her prerogative,
Yeah, it just seems weird. Dave, I'm sorry, you were saying.
I said the best thing that could happen at this moment in time is they find Thrawn and Ezra.
No, they're definitely going to.
We obviously know they're going to. We obviously know
that's where it's leading. Yeah.
Like, they're not going to do something so anticlimactic as to go to, like, the space whale travel over to this new galaxy and not find anything.
Right. Right.
Oh, wow, I guess. Oh, they both died 10 years ago. That's a shame. Okay, let's go home,
And here's another angle to that. Like, just the same way Spock, mind melded with those whales. Ahsoka kind of did that too. Sure, she was asking for permission to ride in their mouth, but I would not be surprised if these whales also gave her a little bit more information about.
I mean, these whales are capable of like organic intergalactic travel. They seem pretty sophisticated to me.
Yeah, they are. But that the ability she used is an ability that Ezra demonstrated in the series, but Ezra could do it with other creatures.
Well, that's not even a new thing. Like, that's like in a lot of the Star Wars games, that's like if you have like a Jedi versus Sith dynamic, that is one of the things they always give Jedi is the ability to commune with nature and with animals and stuff like
empathic abilities.
And this is actually one of those instances where them doing something in Star Wars is actually, I think, more plausible than what they were doing in Star Trek, because they would kind of whip out bullshit powers for Spock to have whenever it was convenient for the plot.
It would be. It's like,
like, if you go back and watch TOS, like, I have an inner eye layer that I use to keep myself from getting blinded. Bullshit
it's so
like
dumb. It is. It's
like that time you mind melded with the hamburger creature.
Yeah. There were some dumb fucking episodes in the TOS. Love it to death, but Star Trek has come a long way.
Yeah, so awesome. 10 out of 10 for that episode. Just brilliant. I loved it. 3 episodes left. I think 2, 6, 7, 8, 3.
Is it only 8? Because it seems like this seems like a good midpoint for a season. I'm surprised we're already like in the final stretch here.
If anything, the way this episode felt in terms of how long I was watching, they either made this an extra longer episode than the previous 4 episodes, or they just jammed so much fucking into it.
They could have easily made the end of the episode when she wakes up from the vision, but
and then they add more.
Yeah, there was a whole extra plot line, which I'm not complaining. I'm just
I love
they are definitely packing a lot into these episodes.
This is definitely getting a second season. There's way too much to explore. We're gonna get Ezra back.
Oh, I hope that means we're not getting a cliffhanger.
We are getting so much more past this point.
We have to, dude. And then that Jace kid, he's all super force sensitive. They got to explore that. That's a spinoff right there, dude. What the fuck? I mean,
he's going to be Ahsoka's Padawan.
That's what I'm thinking.
She needs a better one. She really does.
Yeah, the one she got now is
terrible. Yes.
Yeah,
she's not terrible. She's just not force.
She's not very good. No, she's not great, dude.
I'm sorry, Dave, but
she makes some bad choices.
I have been soured on this character so hard with her being introduced to me in this show.
I do not like live action short haired Sabine. I like the longer hair.
Oh wow!
I could not care less about her hair length.
Like me now.
She has been such a dead weight. Worse than a dead weight. She has been actively thwarting them the entire time. She's the MVP for the Sith so far.
She just loves her friend. I love my friend Ezra. All right, whatever. I know. Let's do news. Maybe once they actually get back together on screen, it'll be a moment that you're like, oh, okay, I can understand why she was being so, stupid.
Maybe.
I doubt it, but anyway, let's do news. We start off with just a really, really weird story. Bill Willingham, creator, copyright holder, maybe, of Fable.
Apparently, he must, because I know where you're going with this.
He released a newsletter on Substack, and he's like, Fables is now in the public domain. He said, Fables is fully creator-owned by me, but not creator-controlled. DC has most publication and media rights locked up. So then what good does ownership still have? We're about to see. And then he went on to say that the comic book property called Fables, including all related Fable spin-offs and characters, is now in the public domain. What was once wholly owned by Willingham is now owned by everyone. For all time, it's done. And as most experts will tell you, once it is done, it can't be undone. So why did he do this? I think this is the most important question. Why did he do this? He said there's a number of reasons, but basically it comes down to DC not paying him and his lack of money to sue DC Comics for what he is owed. He said, I chose to give away to anyone If I could prevent Fables from falling into bad hands, at least this way, I can arrange that it also falls into many good hands. Since I truly believe there are still more good people in the world than bad ones, I count it as a form of victory.
Which is funny because, the fairy tales that they're based on are already public domain.
Dude, that's part of my end point here.
It is kind of meta here,
It's
yes.
already in the public domain. All of it.
But the specific story of Fables, though, I guess is... I don't understand how he owns the characters but doesn't control the publication.
I mean, that's the deal that he's got.
I am not savvy enough
you know how
about...
Taylor Swift, right? Like, redid all of her music and then re-released it. It's kind of like that, She owns certain rights, but not all of the rights. Again, dude, and this
is all lost on me.
Yeah, this is actually really good that you said this because he gets in on this. He's like, you can ask one copyright lawyer one question or a series of questions, and then ask another one, and they're both going to have different answers. And he's like, this has been done on purpose to hurt creators who own stuff. You know what I mean? To make it more complex and more difficult for them to actually get what is due to them for doing this shit. All right, so DC, like the day after, shot back in a statement, and this is very rare for DC to do something like this. The Fables comic books and graphic novels published by DC and the storylines, characters, and elements therein are owned by DC and protected under the copyright laws of the United States and throughout the world in accordance with applicable law and are not in the public domain. DC reserves all rights and will take such action as DC deems necessary or appropriate to protect its intellectual property rights. There's a couple other angles here, but there was like a Kickstarter anthology thing that was discussed by some creators on social media. But now that's kind of on hold. It's almost like we dare you. You know what I mean? DC is just basically saying, we dare you to go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, that does have a chilling effect. Like,
fight that's going to end up tying up Fables in courts for years. We may not see something published from Fables for a very long time.
I mean, that's not that much of a blow because they just, like, Fables have been gone for, like, decades before they started re-releasing, or they started, not re-releasing, but releasing this continuation,
Well, it also had a video game or two. It had that Batman tie-in.
Yeah, Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, but what Dave said a moment ago, he said, we might not see Fables stuff for a while. I disagree. Whether or not either party wins,
I mean, if DC
will still be allowed to publish new comics.
Yes, if DC...
They either own it or it's in the public domain.
Yeah, I mean, they can release, like, the collection of this continuation of the series. I mean, it probably doesn't change their plans all that much. But them issuing their statement is meant to probably be a chilling effect, right? Like you're saying, like, I definitely would think twice if I had, like, a cockamamie idea for how to use, like, Fables versions of Snow White and Bigby and things like that, because I don't want to fuck with, DC's lawyers.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, it's almost like a threat. And again, that's part of what Bill has been saying. Bill Willingham has been saying, okay?
Yeah.
So there's another couple of angles here, all right? One of them, yes. All of this shit is already in the public domain, okay? That's the magic of this series.
Yeah, like, you really have to be very, like, exacting if you want people to know that this is the Fables version of, like, Jack or Stowe or any of these other characters.
There's also another angle here. Bill Willingham is, like, a prominent right-wing conservative commentator who's written for Breitbart, among other things, and like, part of the community was like, man, I really stand for what Bill's doing, but he's an asshole, shit like that.
Yeah.
So that's like another angle. It's like, wow, he's really doing like this sort of really great thing. But
his pro-MAGA stances are unacceptable.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's like, I don't know, man. To me, that's what cancel culture is. All right, there's consequence culture. But to me, this is like, I'm not even going to listen to this guy no matter how.
Well, I do think that you should be able to acknowledge when a person who you think is a bad person makes a good point. Like, you can't
like me. We do it on this show all the time.
Yeah, you're a monster. Exactly. But when you make good points, I still agree with you.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that's how it should work. But anyway, we'll have more on that.
Although I will say real quick that I am surprised that this is happening now, just because it seemed like DC and him had worked out, him writing more Fables. very recently, like within the last couple of years here.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, dude, do you want your cake? Have your cake and eat it too. A lot of people are like, oh, well, you signed a contract. And he's saying, yeah, I did sign a contract. DC ain't holding up to their end of the contract.
Well,
and I don't have enough money to sue them.
If he is right about that, then contracts are supposed to be two-way streets. They're mutual agreements. So, yeah.
Yeah. But again, and I don't want to talk about systemic problems, but this does go back to a systemic problem. It's cost the normal person who enters into a contract so much money. The only way to have a contract litigation or whatever is to go through the courts. And you have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yes, there's a very asymmetrical power dynamic to a lot of these contracts.
Yeah, dude.
Like you hear about it all the time, about like people stiffing contractors and knowing that they can't hold them accountable because they can't afford to sue them.
Exactly. And this rich dude just happens to have a lawyer on retainer who's like, yeah, sure. I'll just send him a letter. You're paying me whatever, $1,000 a month just to sit on my ass or something, But yeah, so that is a deep problem. But let's get into other problems. Alan Moore. We all know Alan Moore, arguably the greatest comic book writer of all time. I will argue that. We all know
our most successful living wizard too.
Yes, exactly. We know he hates adaptations.
Ozzy starts making a song about Alan Moore. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So he had an interview on the Telegraph. Okay. Moore was asked questions about this, even though everybody knows that he hates the adaptations. He doesn't want anything to do with them. Well, obviously, Warner Brothers Discovery still be sending him checks, talking about contracts. Alan Moore, for some time, has been asking Warner Brothers Discovery to send his television and film royalty checks to Black Lives Matter, of all things. Because, this dude is, the whitest motherfucker in the world, and he's, not American. And it just seems like a weird.
Well, he's never been shy about what his politics are.
Oh, and if anything, that's what's made his career, is telling everybody what his politics are. Through one form or another, but so yeah, I think that's pretty cool. It's another layer to the onion that is Alan Moore. Tying this into the first story, though, how the fuck do we know Warner Brothers Discovery is actually doing that? You know what I mean?
It's hard to say. Like if they're sending him directly according to Alan Moore's wishes, like he would have no way of knowing because like he's not being an intermediary here or anything,
Yeah, it's like, come on, dude, do a little bit of work, Alan.
Yeah, like set up get like a middleman to like do this for you at least.
Set up a trust fund.
Sure,
you still got to know the money's going in there.
A foundation, an Alan Moore Foundation.
Like someone who is accountable to Alan Moore should be like overseeing the transfer of funds,
Yeah. And who knows how much he's even making? The writers and the actors are striking right now for more money. Talking about how little residuals they get from replays of stuff. So, how much is he making every time I watch V for Vendetta on HBO? How much is he making when I watch the Watchmen series? I don't know. I've watched the Watchmen series like 5 times. You're welcome, Alan. I bought Watchmen like 5 times too, the comic. So
that is one of those. It's kind of like the Skyrim of comic books, and that like you can ask somebody like, "How many times have you bought it?" And it's not an inherently ridiculous question.
Yeah, but my problem is I always let people borrow it, and then they never give it back.
Bastards.
And I always go buy a new copy. Usually I found them at like a book sale or something like that. And I'll pick it up.
It is not hard to find Watchmen. It's wherever comic books or even books are sold.
I don't even trust people enough to loan out my
comics. I don't blame you.
I have a first
Watchmen's different from me, man. Watchmen's different from me.
I like to give people printing of the graphic novel. I don't lend it out.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't loan out
if it's the first printing, absolutely. Put that in a case somewhere.
The first printing of Watchmen graphic novel? Nice.
Yes.
Nice. I have like a 6th printing. I don't think that means anything. It's got like 50 some fucking printings.
Yeah.
By design, because that's the only way that the rights don't revert back to Alan Moore. As long as they keep Watchmen in print, DC keeps it forever. Which is weird. I'm just saying. It's weird. All right, moving on to the one, the only Rob Liefeld, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a Captain America.
Just be an adult about this.
No, I am.
Not you, David.
Pillow.
See, David's not being an adult about this. He's being a angsty teenager about it.
It is.
Rob Liefeld sucks. We all agree that Rob Liefeld sucks.
Liefeld sucks.
We all agree. So just be an adult about it. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't think that's the story here. I think the story is all right. That is based off this very actual Heroes Reborn cover that he was really serious about. He obviously made a boo boo. He's owning it. You know what I mean? He's owning it.
I do appreciate that. Like he is at least letting himself be a part of the joke at this point. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like he recognizes that it's become this infamous image. Although I will say that he did not make this one as outrageously stupid as the other one was.
Yeah, he learned his mistakes a little bit.
I love the
his
fact
chest is not extending like a foot past the shield or anything like that.
Yeah,
I love the fact that the star emblem on the shield looks like a Federation insignia.
Oh, it kind of does with a V.
A little bit with a V over it, yeah.
Yeah,
That's supposed to be like a falcon, like in the foreground, and that's making the star. But yeah, I can definitely see what you're talking about.
Yeah, I like that. So yeah, and again, this is Captain America #1 from J. Michael Straczynski and Jesus Ice. The first issue is out.
Oh, so the one that's not about Sam?
Yeah, the one that's not about Sam. This is just a variant cover that he's doing. You can actually buy it on
well, you know
Whatnot.
what? If I was to complain about every time a variant cover had nothing to do with the comic book itself, I'd be here all day.
Yeah, we bitch all the time. That's shit. That's every damn week, man. So yeah, there you go. That's all the news about this that I think we can really say. I'm happy that he's leaning into it, but yeah, man, that is just fucking hilarious. I love it. I love it. That will be available on Whatnot. You can actually buy that cover directly from Robert Liefeld. And again, he that motherfucker laughing all the way to the bank. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he
Not
made
with
his
my
dough.
money.
Well, somebody's fucking
got
money.
enough money from other people, Dave. He don't give a shit what we say about him at this point.
Yeah. All right. Finally, in news this week, Thor Corps is coming back in Immortal Thor #5.
Hell yeah.
Al Ewing, Martin Cocola. It's out December 13th. Al Ewing said in an interview, let's talk about that cover. It's basically everyone. Well, not everyone, because Eric Masterson is sadly no longer with us. But a whole bunch of people who have previously been Thor are Thor again to back up Thor, the main Thor. I think that's dope, dude. I have loved every Thor. Every version of Thor I have just loved.
Yeah.
Including Thunderstrike?
Well, maybe not Thunderstrike. I mean, he's all right.
Fuck you, Dave. Throwing cold water on all this.
You know.
I'm going deep into the.
But come on, Storm was Thor, Beta Ray Bill. I mean, man.
We got the greatest hits. Looks like we got Jane there. I'm thinking that's Jane there in the foreground too. It's like immediate right.
Just yeah.
Has inner Valkyrie armor? Or?
No, it looks like a Thor armor.
Yeah, it looks like a Thor armor, dude.
So Thor armor, and then we got Loki, who I don't think was ever a Thor per se, but hey, he's around, and Storm and Beta Ray. So yeah, I'm all for this.
Yeah, me too, man. This book has only one issue out, I think. Yeah, just the one issue.
Yeah, just the one issue so far.
But it's really good. It was a fantastic debut issue, man. I loved it. I loved it. So cool. All right, that's all the news. Let's do food. Let's eat.
Yummy.
Okay, this is a weird one just because it leans into how terrible businesses are. After 2032, McDonald's will no longer have self-serving drinks.
What?
I don't know if you guys have eaten inside at a McDonald's lately. When was the last time either of you have eaten inside at a McDonald's?
It's been a while.
I think sometime within the last year. I was on a road trip with my family. We wanted to get out of the car, so we went inside and ate.
I think this was pre-pandemic.
So did you order your food and then wait at the counter or wait up there standing, or did you go sit down and then somebody brought it to your table?
Well, nowadays, the thing they do nowadays that I saw was like you order on like an electronic kiosk, and then where I was, you had to go up to the counter when they like called your number. But,
okay.
Yeah, I guess self-serve.
There's combinations of this.
I don't care for losing the self-serving drinks though, because you could just keep refilling your drink, and I would abuse the shit out of that.
Well, they're still going to be offering unlimited refills for people who are eating in the.
But now someone's going to judge me like every time I ask for another one.
Somebody is going to come and ask you if you want another refill, and then they're going to go refill your drink for you, like at a regular restaurant, like not a fast food restaurant. I think that is freaking weird. Man, they got free Wi-Fi in McDonald's now. I went to my McDonald's the other day, and there was a line. So I told my wife, and this is actually a month or so ago, but I told Amazing Man, I was like, let's just go in. We got 5 minutes just to sit down and kick it. And it was empty in there, except for one dude who had like his laptop up, pop, 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 like a Starbucks, like it was a Starbucks. And I was just blown away, dude. And they were like, all right, go sit down. I'm like, what do you mean go sit down? Where's my food? We'll bring it to you.
Well, that's just like Polo Campero.
I can definitely see
Well, that's
like
every restaurant.
you just
But this
being a
is
huge
Polo
McDonald's.
Campero is not a fast food. Is not a restaurant.
Oh,
It's a
I
fast food
remembered what the
place.
thing I wanted to mention now was actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's just that they're releasing like Werewolf by Night in color, and I do not
Oh, yeah, I
understand
saw
why.
that. I saw
Which
that.
it was really rad in black and white. I have no idea why
Yeah.
you'd want to re-release it.
I don't
in
think
color.
they're doing it full in color. I think they're just going to add like accents of color here and there.
That could be better, but I don't
It
want a
could
full
be.
color version of it because half the fun
Yeah.
was like it was an old like Hammer horror movie, you know,
Yeah.
or not Hammer, old Universal horror movie.
Yeah. But McDonald's is saying that they're doing this for customer convenience. Whatever.
I don't think it's very convenient.
Whatever.
I mean, it's not something I'd get upset about, but like,
Yeah, as long as they're good about it,
Well, how am I going to be able to mix my diet with my regular?
Yeah, how am I going to make a suicide, man?
I would rather
back in
just
the day.
drink it myself. Yes,
Yeah, that's what
or rather like go get the drink myself.
Yeah. All right, last bit of food news. Arby's has the thing called the new Big Game Burger, and it's made with a blend of venison, elk, and beef.
Christ.
Jeez, don't let your insurance company find out you're eating this shit. Are you kidding me? So
Okay, I like venison.
I do not.
I have never had elk,
It's a
I
little
have not
gamey.
either.
Never had elk, yeah.
and
Or beef, yeah.
beef, obviously.
They make
Beef,
great
yeah.
milk. Great milk. My favorite kind of milk. Beef milk.
Moving on.
So this is like venison, elk, ground beef, topped with onions, pickles, Swiss, and dark cherry steak sauce. I will
That's
never
the Bronco
try.
berry sauce.
Yeah, it's the Bronco berry sauce. It's the Arby's Bronco berry sauce, which is actually quite good.
It's actually it's really
The
good.
jalapeno pepper.
Okay.
But
I would
yeah,
try this.
I hate venison.
I
Dude.
mean, I don't find this revolting, but I also don't
do.
find it appealing.
I don't
Yeah, I
think
do not
it'll
find
look
this
like
appealing.
this, but I might give it.
Oh,
a
it's
try.
not gonna. Oh, hell no. Hell no. This probably isn't actually any real food.
Oh no,
probably
it's gonna be some like
manufactured.
thin little thing, and it's gonna be like
Yeah.
the onions like aren't visible from outside the bun, and shit like that.
I always said if venison was as good as beef, we would have fields and fields of deer.
Well,
where we-
I
I mostly
venison
agree with that.
jerky.
I'd
It's
say
pretty good.
I hate
Venison jerky is really good.
I'm just not a fan of
venison
at
is
all.
so far down on the list of. You have to tell me you are out of like 7 other things before I'd even consider getting venison.
Yeah, right.
Arby's should be brave and do horse.
Oh, dude.
They do that in other
Tony,
countries. Like
They
they
do.
have like horse burgers and stuff in Italy.
Yeah. Yeah. I would actually try horse. I heard it tastes like beef. Like
It
clean
does.
beef. Yeah, I heard it's like a leaner
Well,
beef.
I haven't had horse, but I've had horse flavored chips.
Oh, that's not the same. Horse flavored.
You fucking poser.
Let's do one more. Let's do one more thing before review. Oh man. Oh, here we go. Oh no, that's the cheeseburger. We did get a preview for Duke #1. Joshua Williamson, Tom Riley.
Where
This
does
would be-
Joshua Williamson find the time?
Yeah, where's he find the time? He's shopping with his old
Joshua
lady.
Williamson is not a person. Joshua Williamson is an AI. That
Yeah,
produces
he's an
art.
AI pretending, right?
I can
So we
believe
get
it.
a preview here with a little bit of backstory and stuff like that. But the story is Conrad Hauser has made first contact with an alien being, or was it a UFO, or was it both? But no one, not even Colonel Hawk, will believe the story of the jet fighter converting into a colossal alien robot that nearly killed the man known as Duke. So this is like a
Oh.
pre-G.I. Joe thing. G.I. Joe will be getting together because of the Cybertronian invasion. Yeah, I'm stoked. This
No,
comes
they
out.
called him Colonel Hawk. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
Colonel
it's
Hawk.
a little early in the G.I. Joe timeline.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. So this is the first of 4 different one-shots. Well, not one-shots. Miniseries, 4-issue miniseries that will come out. It's Duke and Cobra Commander so far. We don't know what the next 2 will be.
I'd be surprised if one of them wasn't Snake Eyes.
I'd be
Oh, yeah, you
surprised
got to
if
bring
the
Snake
other
Eyes
is
in fairly
Storm
early.
Shadow.
I would think Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow.
Storm Shadow,
You do 'em
maybe. You could just put Storm Shadow in Snake Eyes, just
Sure,
give him someone to
sure.
fight.
Yeah, I would love any of the G.I. Joe characters. I am a huge fan of the G.I. Joes, and
Yeah, it's a bit of a wild card who number 4 would be, but
yeah,
this looks cool. I really like the
Scarlet. You got
artwork
to
on
put
this.
Scarlet in there.
You could put Scarlet in the
Maybe
Snake
call
Eyes.
him Scarlet.
Mm.
Oh, hey, maybe do
Now that I'm
Baroness
saying that,
on the other
Scarlet's
side
probably
of
going to
things.
be in the Duke book. I wouldn't be
Maybe.
shocked if she showed up in this book.
Do you think it'll be a Joe, or do you think it'll be someone from Cobra?
I don't know, man.
I think it might be
Jeff chimed
somebody
in.
from
G.I. Joe
Cobra.
going to be badass, dude. It's going to be so good. The Energon universe is just looking so great right now.
Yeah, but that artwork looks sick. It looks like even if you don't give a shit about G.I. Joe, it just looks like a cool war comic,
Yeah, and it's going to tie into this overall thing with Transformers that I don't know, man. I think it's irresistible. I mean,
Well, I do
I'm
think
a huge fan.
if you're going to be on for the long haul, you have to give a shit about Transformers because they are in every one of these books.
Yeah. So there you go. That's your moment of destruction. We'll have more when we get more. Hopefully, we'll get a Cobra Commander #1 preview, fairly soon. But cool. That's it. Let's do top 3. Let's review some books. Terrible week being busy, so I just still gonna get into it. Yeah, I only have 4 books on my list altogether. Honorable mention and then top 3. Usually I have just a huge list with notes so I could talk with folks about it, but honorable mention is Ghost Rider #18. Ben Percy, Carlos Nieto, fill-in artist. This issue was all about Talia Warroad, who is basically Ghost Rider's current sidekick, and she's a supernatural CIA agent. She's basically John Constantine from the Keanu Reeves movie. Like from a child, she saw all kinds of boogeymen, and they would get her and stuff like that. But she also has like innate abilities, not like Constantine. He learned everything later. She has some innate abilities that help protect her and do different things. And it was really fun. I had a really good time with that. But my number 3 this week is the father and son fun of Batman and Robin.
It's an honorable mention for me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Joshua Williamson, again, Simone DeMeo. Great art in this. It had a bit of first issue syndrome, kind of leaning into Gotham War and where
basically
Robin
just
was
like
on Lazarus Island.
they do at least give you the credit of knowing who Batman is and even who Damian is. Yeah. But they do spend a lot of time here's the current goings on, with the Bat books.
Yeah. But I love the way this is shaping up where Bruce is like, no, Damon, you got to go to high school. And he's like, I'm smarter than everybody at high school. He's like, yeah, I know. That's why you got to go because you're a little shit with a bad attitude. But really good art.
Also pointed out that he did a lot of he seemed to have gotten a lot of good out of hanging out with people his own age. We see some of which here in his little background splash there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful splash too.
It is,
that profile just really well done. And I mean, here's another art page, just man, of the villains, just so good, dude. Basically, that's why this hit for me. The art was just super solid.
Yeah.
And I love where Williamson is going with the father and son dynamic. These characters have evolved quite a bit together over the course of the past year or two.
Yeah.
With the Robin series.
A lot of good touches here.
Yeah.
It seems like Bruce is the one who's most eager to reconnect here, and that's kind of an interesting turn for him.
Yeah. Just having a great time with this. It's kind of weird that he's having this same sort of mental state while his mental state in during the Gotham War series is way out there. He seems a lot more mellow here. He seems like a dad here. So yeah, but I am anxious to read the rest. It was great. I had a great time with it. Taylor, honorable mention.
Batman and Robin was an honorable mention for me too. Spider-Man was fun. The Miles Morales Spider-Man #10.
Yeah, this is great. Him going to therapy. I thought that was really brave thing to do.
I don't know enough to say whether that was actual good therapy session advice. It's basically just breathe and just very quickly. hey, just take a moment to think before you react to your spider sins. And
it was like that episode of TNG where Barkley goes, "Oh yeah, that helps, counselor. Thanks," and then just leaves and then goes back to the holodeck.
Yeah, it seems like they broke through some barriers really fucking fast in that therapy
but I
session.
really like how they're leaning into this guy's a superhero, but he's still a kid. This is where Peter Parker would have been if Peter Parker was Peter Parker of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Now, he would be going to therapy. He would. Come on, Dave.
No, it almost sounds like you're going to be like Peter Parker pick up peppers.
Yeah, right.
I suppose a bit of a tongue twister there, but
good call out.
Yeah, Green Lantern was fun. It was good to get back to that after fucking Night Terrors.
It was solid. I didn't get all the way through it, but oh wait, no, I did get through this. There's a big slap in it at one point.
There's also Avengers Inc. was a good debut issue.
Yeah, that's on my list. Yeah.
Okay, well I'll let you talk about that in a minute because that was a lot of fun. Nice. My number 3 this week though is going to be Incredible Hulk number 4.
Good choice. I did not read this. I did not get.
Well, you do miss Nick Klein on the art, and that it is a shame to switch over. But this was still a lot of fun. Do you have the image where the Hulk is expanding inside of and exploding out of Man-Thing?
No, I didn't even read it. I just grabbed the cover for it. I didn't even get to any of the interior of this ish.
So this is basically just teeing up more stuff that's going to be coming later, but they're still going along with the Mother of Monsters and Eldest and all that stuff. We also get a little bit more into Charlie, his little sidekick character that he's picked up.
Little kid sidekick. Yeah.
I do miss Nick Klein's art, but this was a lot of fun. The artwork was still pretty damn solid. So it's been fun reading Hulk again. I really love the horror aesthetic they're going into. Like the new monster of the week is like this fucking swamp creature that like shows you like your lost loved ones and pulls you in.
Oh, so cool!
It's a really cool angle. So like I'm really enjoying the hell out of like what freaky fucking thing is going to come at the Hulk this week.
Nice.
So that's a lot of fun. Okay, but that's my number 3.
Dave.
All right.
Honorable mentions.
The Call number 2.
Great art, not a lot of action, very talky, and why did everybody get so horny all of a sudden?
I think it has something to do with the island.
Yeah, the island seems to be making everyone horny. I was not expecting that twist, Kelly Thompson. I was not expecting that twist.
I think that the creatures in this realm are quickly evolving.
I don't know about that either. I thought it was a different creature.
I think, she picks up something out of the water, and then like a moment later, she drops it back in the water, and it's different. Yeah. And then that red panda looking thing is like a person now.
Yeah. This is an issue I would have read twice if I'd had more time. Because I had to
I may actually go back and read it again.
Yeah. Just to try to pick up on some things.
But
I don't remember that dude being there. I remember at the end of the last issue it was just the 4 girls. And now I was like, where the hell did this dude come from? And then 2 pages later, they're just having sex in the weird.
The earrings are coming off.
The earrings are coming off. I was like, what the fuck is going on? It was weird. It wasn't weird. It was cool. It was done very well. It was just unexpected, for sure. Continue. Please.
The next honorable mention is Killmore number 1.
Yeah, I didn't get to this. I did thumb through it a little bit, but I did not get to read the whole thing. It looks like a cop drama.
Yeah, a city is basically in economic woes, and serial killers are starting to show up in droves.
Oh, okay.
My favorite one is the Head Squisher.
That's funny. That's the name of the serial killer, the Head Squisher.
That's the name of that is the literal name of a serial killer in this book, is the Head Squisher. My next honorable mention is Creepshow number 1.
I didn't read
really
that
good
either.
Horror anthology here. Got 2 really good stories. The first story is by Becky Cloonan, artwork from Becky Cloonan. So
cool.
Kudos.
Garth Ennis wrote it. Yeah, I didn't get to this
Garth
one
Ennis
either, man. I didn't get to that one either.
And I think my last honorable mention is going to be Astrobots number 5.
Yeah, I got to catch up on this whole. I want to reread all this in collected, all 5 in a row.
Holy shit!
Nice.
That's all I will say. Holy shit!
Nice. I'm very excited to check that out.
All right, and now my number 3 pick this week is actually going to be Batman: Gargoyle of Gotham.
Yeah, I did read this briefly.
I
Grandpa's
have
art is amazing. Look, he
it is
does the old knock,
amazing.
knock, knock, knock.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in this book, and I have to reread it again. But the artwork is phenomenal, and it seems like it's a very early Batman story, but with a modern twist on it because we don't have Commissioner Gordon, we have Detective Gordon.
You know, he killed Bruce Wayne in this. Batman kills Bruce Wayne in this so he can be full-time Batman. Yeah, but then there's this chick who is like really Marxist, man, like really eat the rich shit, and that really, spoke to me.
That spoke to you,
yeah. That really spoke to me, but it meandered a lot, man, and that's what I'm saying. Like you said, I want to go back and reread it because
I have to go back and read this because there is definitely some things I missed that I am like, I got to process it again. I was reading all the other books and I have to go back and really read this to.
Yeah, but the art, like you said, was fantastic.
Phenomenal.
But I mean, it is just a Batman book. And there's like a guy and there's like a cartoon company involved.
Like the villain is based off a cartoon character from this company.
Yeah, and this dude is killing rich people in weird ways, and Batman is killing Bruce Wayne. There's a whole lot going fucking on in this book, and I just didn't have enough time to really put the attention in to truly understand all the ins and outs. But yeah, it was good. It was good. Good call out. Good shout out. All right, that comes to me. My number 2 book, Avengers Inc. Al Ewing, Leonard Kirk. This was really cool. It's basically a whodunit with Wasp and friends.
Like doing like superhero like procedurals, basically.
Yeah, like these supervillains are in jail and get shot in their cells and die, but then like 3 or 4 or 5 pages later, they're all back. But then there's one of them. No,
we don't know. They have not explained what is going on yet.
They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, most of what happens after this is basically devoted to a big old fight that they have.
Yeah, and Janet does do a good. It almost.
She's doing good like forensics. Like she's really showing off like her wit and her competence here.
Yeah, like her internal monologue though that we get to see. It does read like a pulp crime novel.
It does, yeah.
And that's really what drew me in. Al Ewing doing that.
She's like the PI who got like pulled in to like handle the case or whatever.
Yeah, and Dr. Pym, of course.
Oh yeah, and that's the big twist at the end is like that piece of shit Eric O'Grady and Pym. Apparently Hank Pym or old man Hank Pym.
I love Eric O'Grady. He's my favorite Ant-Man. Created by Robert Kirkman, believe it or not. But
you cannot deny that he's a huge piece of shit, though.
Oh, I love it. Well, you know what? I can relate. I think I can relate.
You're also a huge piece of shit, so yeah.
I think I can read the rest of Taylor's stuff. Taylor, number 2.
My number 2 is X-Men Red, number 15.
Oh, yes. The Iraqi Civil War.
Yeah. So yeah, we get our freaking infographics. Love that shit.
I love it because it was a map, too, and I'm a big fan of maps.
Yep. And it also put front and center Fisher King. We get into his past. That's always a bit of a risky proposition, taking a character who's like cool and mysterious and everything and like actually getting into the whys and wherefores that can run the risk of not living up to your expectations.
Darth Vader, Boba Fett.
Yeah, but I think that this is getting into some pretty cool shit. Like I'm enjoying like the look into what it was like in Araco during the war. That's something we've seen alluded to, but here we're getting more details on it. And like even as he's like disparaging himself, because we're getting like his perspective this time, he is still the first person to recognize, oh wait, this is a trap. So even though he's still being the most like savvy person there, he's all like, damn, I noticed it too late.
I'm still not quite sure of his powers.
He apparently doesn't have one,
He's got like worms living in him or some shit.
But there's something to him, and I think that's what we're going to get into next time. They've done a great job building up this guy who apparently has no powers whatsoever, and yet still has this uncanny ability to
steal the show,
be in the right place at the right time every fucking time he's appeared. Like even like after Abigail Brand like got defeated and she like went to her safe place. Who was there waiting for her? The fucking Fisher King,
Exactly.
How the hell is he doing this? And it's fascinating, and I'm assuming we'll get into that with this next issue.
Yeah, I think so too, man. This was the end here. Guess who's back in town?
Yeah.
I mean, who can save Mars now? It can only be Apocalypse. he's the only one who can come back. Eli from the Comic Book Bullies in the chat. Greg Capello drew that Corn album cover, not Ryan Stegman. Yes, you are absolutely right, dude. I must have misspoke.
What an
Ryan
idiot
Stegman.
you are,
No,
Ken.
I did. That's from last week. But
Yeah.
yeah, he's right. Eli calling us out. It's because Dave wasn't here.
I don't know about what this us
Exactly.
is you're talking about, but
Dave, I don't think was here to.
I wasn't here last week.
no, I mean it was you who said it. He's calling
It
you out.
was totally me. It was totally me.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eli. Again, Eli over at the Comic Book Bullies. Check them out. We'll talk more about them at the end of the show, but give them a Google or go to outrightgeeker.com. All right, that leads us to Dave's number 2 this week.
Hello there.
Oh, Dave, what are you doing?
My cat is. I didn't put my cat up because she ran away, and now she's in my lap.
Oh, that's
She's-
nice.
That sounds sweet.
My number 2 is the alternates number 1.
Yeah, I didn't read this one either. I did grab the cover though. This is Patton Oswalt's spin-off.
Spinning out of Minor Threats. The alternates are a group of superheroes that went to another dimension and then came back, and now they're in therapy. And apparently they might have brought something back with them. They thought they had sealed up the rift that they went to this other dimension to.
Yeah.
And they're in therapy, and one of the guys is like, I'm kind of over it. I've worked my way through it. I don't need therapy anymore. So he takes off, and our main character here is Mary Maria. She is Monster Girl. She can make her body, she can become body parts of other famous monsters.
Oh, cool. She's like Beast
So
Boy, but with
she's like-
monsters.
She's like combining together like the Universal Monster Slate or something.
Something like
That's
that.
fun.
Does it look like she has a Wolfman arm there?
Yeah, that's
he
what
can
it
do.
yeah.
Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein,
Oh,
a
fun.
vampire arm. She's got it's a really interesting set of powers. But
That's cool.
they're she's like, I'm kind of done with the group too, and I'm kind of getting my life back together. And she's on a date with somebody, and then she ends up running into her therapist, and they have a talk at a diner, and like the Sorcerer Supreme of the Minor Threats universe shows up and was like, something's going on with what they call the Ledge, which is this parallel universe.
Okay.
And she's like, we're getting readings that match the signature of their Ledge, and she's like very curious. She's like, I'm very curious if like maybe something came back with you.
Oh, nice.
And,
okay, fun.
And in the end of it, the first guy that leaves the therapy group shows up to Monster Girl, and that gives her a lead to follow. And they find that it's just that he's dead, and somehow he was able to project himself to her.
Wild.
And when they inspect the body, they find drug vials full of the substance from the parallel universe. They're using it as a drug.
Oh, okay.
So now
that sounds okay. I don't know if I read the Minor Threats all the way through, but this sounds good.
This is not connected to it's other than existing in the same universe.
Right.
This is a group of superheroes that went to another dimension to seal it, and then were able to come back, and they were changed, and they're in therapy for it.
Cool.
So
okay.
They're not villains. So
fun. Cool. I hear you, Kat. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Good call out. Number 1, was there any doubt? A perfect number 1 issue from Solomon Ahmed and Aaron Cooter. Daredevil number 1.
Hey, we're going for a hat trick.
Yeah.
Is your number 1 too, Dave?
Yes.
3 for 3. All right.
3 for 3. Dude, this was just a perfect debut issue. I mean,
yeah, this had everything you could want. We have like sick art montages of Daredevil kicking ass. We got a cool new like status quo where like they're not like for a first issue of a new run here. This is very little first issue syndrome. They're trusting us to know that like this is Daredevil. They get all the stuff where like, yeah, I got reincarnated. We're not explaining it yet. Just roll with it. And they do a great job. And I fucking love this villain. And I especially love the imagery they use when he's doing his possessions,
Yeah,
I
this
thought
is
he
a
was
good
like
one,
a
but I don't know if I
different
got
version
the
of
one
Loki
where
first,
he's
but
like...
He looked like that with the horns, but I think he's supposed to be one of the 7 deadly sins because he's extremely fucking lazy. And yeah, he's Sloth. So he's extremely fucking lazy, and he talks about how like, oh, well, the others won't be as easy. So I think that's what's going on, but I am enticed because they don't really explain a lot about what's going on here.
They really didn't have to.
They did not.
As somebody who hasn't read, the latest runs of Daredevil on and off, I really enjoyed this, and I really didn't have to be like, what happened here, what happened there. They kind of did cover some of that, but
well, this is good to get the multiple perspectives because like Gomer and I have both read the last run, and I definitely, it's a very good example of like picking up what that was putting down. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that it's also good to read if you're coming at it fresh.
Yeah, I just I didn't have to be like trying to figure out what was going on here. Just it was. I really enjoyed it.
I love him using like his stole and like the candle holders as like the fucking weaponry here.
Yeah. Great motion here. Aaron Cooter just shines in every page, but some just more than others. And then we finally get him back, in the garb, and like God immediately punishes him. I love all of that area of it too. Daredevil has always been about Catholic guilt. Okay,
yes.
let's not split any fucking hairs. That's what
Daredevil has had some runs where he's been, fun, but for the most iconic version of Daredevil is Sad Boy Daredevil, and for the most part, it is
Wade's
Catholic
Daredevil
guilt.
Run. He really didn't touch on the religion that much,
Yeah, like in Wade's run, it was more like laughing swashbuckling fun type of stuff.
Yeah.
But we're definitely doing Sad Boy Daredevil here because he is having his crisis of faith. And it's very well written, and it's very much in Saladin Ahmed's wheelhouse. He writes a lot of great books with that element, with not necessarily Catholic guilt, but with inner turmoil,
Right. Eli in the chat, even the bright, pretty art worked, and he's right. You think about Daredevil, you think about it being gritty and dark. This was not that. This was bright. I mean, shot of
a lot of the more iconic Daredevil runs probably were things like Dave Aja or Mac or people like that who had more of a gritty tinge to it. But you're right, this art absolutely nails it, even though it is a lot more clean and crisp,
Yeah. And look at Cooter's faces on that first panel. I mean, that just says so much. You know exactly what emotion you're seeing, and then just this scene of Elektra checking out on Matt. It's just perfect. There's even a little bit of confusion about Matt Murdock not knowing he had a past, but knowing he had a past. Not knowing who Elektra is, but then meeting her and being like, "Oh, I know who you are."
They're really doing a good job.
Worked.
They're doing a great job teasing out the reveal as to what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm glad you agree, Dave's cat. Yeah,
the cat agrees. This was fucking awesome. Yeah, this seems like it's going to be, another prestige, amazing, cool, fun run.
Man, it's always great whenever Daredevil gets a good writer, because this is where great writers go to really strut their stuff, and it looks like we're getting another one of those for sure.
Yeah, my another favorite part of this, the villains in this are one of the 7 deadly sins and cops. So whatever, Marvel.
It wouldn't be a Daredevil book if the villains weren't cops.
Yeah, right. I mean, I didn't last series. He killed a cop at one point. It was an accident, but it still happened. I think it was a cop, maybe not. Anyway, wow, trifecta hat trick. All three of us have the same number 1. Very rarely happens, but man, what a fantastic issue. A perfect debut issue, especially coming off that great Zdarsky run. I'm really anxious to see where this goes. I'm happy that they're keeping the status quo that Zdarsky set up with Elektra, and eventually moving Matt, him dying, going to hell, coming back, having this new thing that he wants to do. Yeah, everything about this issue was just perfect. So, awesome. We did it. Thanks for listening, everybody. We really appreciate it. If you like what we're doing, check out what the bullies are doing. Eli's been hanging out in the chat. Leroy and Eli do pop culture podcast every Sunday night into the evening hours. If you want more on them, go to outrightgeekery.com. We have links to everything that the bullies got going on, plus everything that we've got going on, including merch and Patreon, all the socials, all the audios, all that good stuff. We really, really appreciate it. Come back tomorrow. We're going to be doing the preview show, talking about all of the new books that are coming out this week. It is a heaping helping of comics, a lot of big debuts. And I think Nightwing, it's a Nightwing week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, always cool. I think he's going on like a pirate adventure this week.
Even better.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I think that's this week.
Anyway,
yeah.
Nightwing.
Yeah, anyway, come back for that. We'll tease all those comics and dive deep into them. Again, we really appreciate it, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. But most of all, thanks to these guys for hanging out with this guy.
Always fun.
And we're going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Wait till he passes out and crushes his cat.
In the meantime, you can pull up Jeff's comment, which you ignored.